Okay, so do you see where you have a red counter? I want you to put one of your red counters on top of that red dot. You see where there's a red one here? Put a red one on top of that red dot. Put it on each one, okay? They're bigger than the dots, which I don't understand why they made them that way, but they did. Do you have them on there?
Yep.
You have them on there, Imogen? Good job. Okay, so I'm going to hold mine up, and mine can't have the counters because, well, you have to listen, and I will tell you what we're going to do then, okay? So now my page, I can't have them on there because they'd fall off, won't they? You leave yours on there. You only need those 3, Rosalind, so put the rest of them down. So you're going to have these 3 on here. You guys have counters on. I cannot, because what would happen if I tried to put them on when I'm holding my paper up? They'd fall off, wouldn't they? It wouldn't work too well. I'd have to put a little thing to attach them each time. So now we're going to count the counters. And we're going to draw a line from the counter to a number. So when you're starting over here, you're going to count that counter and say 1 and draw a line. I'm going to get my bigger, let me use a crayon. You can use a crayon or a pencil, whatever. Draw a line from the counter to the number 1, right? So then we're going to draw a line from this counter to number 2. Then we're going to draw a line from this counter to number 3. Not yet. You need to follow along. So if we drew a line to number 1, number 2, and number 3, how many counters do we have? 3 counters. So I want you to circle that number 3 because that tells us how many we have. Anytime you're counting something, the last number that you say is how many there are, right? Because we said 1, 2, 3. We wouldn't say there's 2 counters because we counted 3. So now, let's see. Let's go to the next one. And what color of counters are we going to use this time? Yellow. So put one yellow one on each one. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other one. So if I do this one, Rosalind, am I going to draw this line to the number 3 or the number 1?
Number 1.
Very good, because it was the 1. And now, Imogen, where do I draw my line for this one? Do I draw it to the number 4 or the number 2?
2.
Good job. You girls are smart cookies. That is right. So we draw it down to the number 2. So everybody go, So how many yellow counters do we have? Very good. So what number should we circle?
2.
You guys are good. So circle that number 2.
I circled mine.
Good. I want you to follow along with me though, Rosalind, because I might ask you something different. Okay, so now you're going to turn that page over. Turn your math page over. I am loud. I am naturally loud. Okay, so here we go. Wow. You can use your counters if you want, and you get to choose a color this time. On the first one, you can put a counter on that picture if you want.
Marker.
You know what? That's okay if today you may use your marker to answer the questions. But Imogen, no, actually it's not okay, because you know what happens? It goes through the paper and then the other side's going to have your marker on it. So use a crayon or a pencil. Thank you for following directions. Use a crayon or a pencil. So we have the cat. So I could put a marker on him, couldn't I? So what number are we going to draw that line to?
2 1.
To the number 1. Go ahead, draw it down. Because we don't start counting number 2, do we? We don't say there's 3 cats because I said number 3. Nope. Always have to start when you're counting. You start at number 1, don't you?
There's 1 cat.
There is 1 cat. So then circle the number 1. So now you can put your counters on the bottles of paint if you want.
I'll see you Monday.
Put them on the bottom.
Thanks. Bye.
Hello.
Hi.
You wanted Zoom installed?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I able to do that?
Probably. I don't know what.
I have my counters on it.
Okay.
Good.
I was able to do a little
Do
more.
we have to circle 4?
Well, you have to wait. We haven't got there yet. First, you have to draw a line for each one. So the red paint can goes to number 1. Where does the yellow paint go?
Number 2.
Because it's the second bottle. What about the blue paint, Imogen?
Number 3.
Imogen, thank you. And the green paint, Rosalind.
4.
So how many paints do we have?
4.
So what number do we circle?
4.
Good job, girls. Circle the number 4. Because that last number tells you how many there are. You girls are smart cookies.
Recently added.
Do you both have your learning bags there? Because you guys are such smart cookies, I'm going to do something else with you, okay? You're doing such a good job. I want you to get out, if you have your learning bag there, get out this tin frame.
10 frame.
Because you guys are such smart cookies.
Thank you. My mom's getting attention.
We're gonna have to make these so we can Velcro or do something on because I'm just doing a little extra thing with it. Okay, so turn it like mine. Imogen, use the side that has this on there. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna do a little extra stuff because you guys are awesome. Okay, so now put your tin frame down. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start here and add things. So I want you to take your counters and I want you to put 1 in the first one. Make it red. Make it a red one. Red one in the first one. Put a red counter in the second one. The second square. Do you see how I'm doing this? I'm going to have to get me some Velcro and get mine so I can do it up here. See how I'm doing that?
And it'll come up in.
No, you don't have to have Velcro. I have to have it because I have to hold it up. You're good.
My cat's in the way.
He is in the way, isn't he? Okay, so put Imogen, now put a yellow one in the next one. Look how I do it. I'm going to hold it up. I got 3 fingers.
Yellow.
So do you have it like mine? Does it look like mine? Does it look like?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to ask you a question here. How many red counters do you have?
2.
Good.
2.
Rosalind, how many yellow counters do you have?
2.
How many yellow?
Yep. 2.
Okay. Look at mine. I'm going to hold it up here. How many yellow counters do I have on there?
Oh, 1. I'll take that.
That's okay. This is our first time doing it. So we have 2 red and we have a yellow. But how many do we have all together? How many are there?
3.
You girls are good, so it didn't matter. What if you turned all of them to yellow counters? Would there still be 3? If you turn them all over to yellow, is there still 3?
Yeah.
There is. What if you turn them all to red? Turn them all over to red. Is there still 3?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what color there are, there's still 3. So you could have 2 red and a yellow, and that makes 3. You could have all yellow and it's still 3. Rosalind, go ahead and take that off your head. We're using them as a tool, not a toy. These are tools. And you could have all yellow.